Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about who I think, who Leon S. Kennedy's wife is. Now, I think there are four possibilities, maybe five. We're not going to get into the fifth because I don't know her name, but it's the person who he was working with in Resident Evil 5. Apparently, he had a good connection with her. Don't know. Haven't played the game. Hoping to play the game. Haven't played the game though. Haven't watched the game. I heard the game was dog shit, but still want to play the Resident Evil series, whether it's good or not. Or whether some games are good or not. Try not to choke to death on thin air. Excellent. I love to see that. But firstly, we're going to talk about Claire. Now, the reason I think this is the highest possibility is she is the God, the most stable relationship Leon Kennedy has had. Now, if you know anything about that, him and her have been in several CGI movies together, several games, and they were both in Resident Evil 5, and I'm pretty sure they met up in that game again. Was it that in Resident... No, I think it was... was Resident Evil 6 where... Either way, one of the Resident Evil games, he was friends with this half-caste lady, I think she was. Maybe she was black, I'm not entirely sure. That's someone... I think Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, and that's also where him and Claire were in, but they didn't work together in that game. It was him and someone else. But I believe they did meet up. Now, yeah, I find that a pretty stable relationship, because she knows how to defend herself, he knows how to defend himself, and overall, I just think it's a, good relationship that they have. Which one do I want more, rifle balls? Or I'll take rifle balls. But yeah, they have a pretty stable relationship. Now, second place, or let's get a little bit more into it. In Resident Evil 2, they fought, alongside each other through hell. They've literally been through the definition of thick and thin. I probably shouldn't be wasting bullets. Oh well. Tough tits. We'll go down in just a minute after I've got that. But yeah, I think, Resident Evil 2 showed that they had a decent relationship. There's also several things pointing to it, and I think Chris would, not even digging into the meme, I think he would actually be quite happy if Leon was her husband, for the main fact Leon is, like, the best person for Claire. He can protect her, he can do a lot of things, and, I think he'd be quite a good fit. Then we move on to Sherry, and why I think she is the least likely candidate. Ignoring the 10-year age difference, which I just don't feel like Leon Kennedy would want to date a 40-year-old while he's 50. Or let me rephrase that, a 39-year-old while he's 49. Just doesn't seem like the kind of guy, he seems like he would want to settle down with someone his age. Just because that'd be a lot easier. Okay, we're just gonna shoot them. Dickhead. Almost got me. Oh, get rid of that. Oh, God, no. But, I also just think he'd be a... I just don't think, they'd be great together. They also work in the same agency, which a lot of agencies have a no co-worker dating policy. But, this is a Resident Evil universe. But, we're not really going to skim over that. I just don't feel like he would. Also, he's watched her grow up. That would also be kind of awkward. But, yeah, sure. That is still a possibility. Then we move on to... Who's the other one? Crap, there's one more, and I can't remember who it was. That's it, Ashley. I just don't... He just doesn't strike me the kind of person who would date her, for the main reason his relationship with her in Resident Evil... In Resident Evil 4 was purely professional and not at all romantic. He kept you know, either he couldn't take the hint or he just didn't want to be with her. And I don't know why he'd suddenly change his mind and want to be with her, but, you know, this franchise has a weird way of, showing the evolution of characters. You know, let me just pick this up and discard it so I don't end up accidentally picking it up later and using it. Oh! Hi, buddy! Eat my ass. But yeah. And then, of course, oh, actually, nah, you know what? We'll take it down this little bitch, but we're not going to open the container with the... Of course, there were several of them. Yeah, I just don't feel like it. But yeah, that is also the second most... that is also the second most stable relationship he could have, as she is constantly protected, as she is a, you know, former president's daughter, which former presidents and their family do have protection from Secret Service. Until their death. So, you know, his family would be constantly safe. But then we also... Yeah, he could, but... Yeah, that's just like, maybe. But then, we have the most likely option. Well, no, actually not the most likely option. One of the most likely options. The second most likely, but the one that doesn't make at all any sense. Which is Ada Wong. Now, the reason she does not make any fucking sense is she is known as a domestic terrorist. As far as I'm aware, I think she committed terrorism, although I might be wrong. That might have been during the... Right. Yeah, that might have been during the Raccoon City outbreak, so she's likely fine. But then we also have to take a look at the espionage. Yeah, she's wanted for espionage, which is also seen as treason in the US. She'd be wanted. Now, you know, I get these games don't really have much logic. They nuked a city without the president's authority, and a full-blown war didn't break out. There also wasn't public outrage. Which, you know, I get there was a zombie apocalypse happening, but, a lot of families died in there, and, yeah, insurance doesn't exactly cover an act of God, which is apparently what domestic terrorism is classed as. An act of God. Right. Yeah, which is technically what domestic terrorism is classed as, an act of war. Insurance doesn't cover that. Nor does it cover war, but... Yeah, we're just gonna open this and then run the back. As I say, run it back. Some lovely, juicy, delicious points. But yeah. It doesn't cover a nuclear war, nor does it cover a zombie apocalypse. As that's not in insurance, you know, there would have to be a zombie apocalypse for it to be covered in insurance. Even then, it would probably be classed as an act of God. But, you know, yeah. But then again, she's also wanted for espionage, as I said. Espionage is one of the worst crimes you could commit. That is literally classed as treason, so, you know... but, you know, she's also the most stable, or one of the most stable Leon could have if she stopped running away, you know? If she's still running away... Yeah, she's not very stable, because, I mean, fuck me, has she just kept disappearing in Resident Evil. She, just kept disappearing in the older Resident Evil games, so, I mean, like, you know, wouldn't really make... What do you need for rifle ammo? I need 2. It just wouldn't really make much sense. But, you know, it's Resident Evil. Nothing makes sense in this game, so she could be his wife. And I'm like a little bit debatable if I want her to be, or if I want it to be Claire. Because, like, Claire, she is such a good fit for Leon. But if Ada stopped running off and disappearing every 2 fucking seconds, yeah, I can see why she'd be a good fit. I don't really mind, I just hope it's good. And I hope Leon finally finds, someone who doesn't want to fucking kill him. And he has settled down. Someone made a thing where it was like, it'd be a major danger for him to have a wife. That's why he never wore the ring during the game. And they also said it's just a cover-up, so, his identity's hidden. Do I need to remind you? He killed 2 Mr. X's, and he also killed Nemesis. Or a Nemesis. I'd say that's pretty fucking badass. Actually, before we continue, let me pull out my rifle. See, I don't really think he needs to, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm out of ammo. If that... Oh, I am so dead. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Beyond? Oh, I'm dead. I am dead. I am so fucking dead. Oh, I am so fucking dead. There we go. Alright, now I just need to run and sharpen that bitch, and then I'll continue my thingy in a minute. My thesis in a minute. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I just think Claire would be the best fit for him. Or Ada, but in my personal opinion, I think it would be Claire. Chris would approve. He likes Leon somewhat. I mean, well, he likes him now. He didn't like him so much in the past, but he does now. I've also noticed... discard, you have to be so slow when discarding things, or else it just won't last. Boy, didn't die for a second, then. I'm gonna die. No, I'm not. You survived that shit? Not anymore, bitch. Yeah, I just think that would be the best. I just think she would be the best fit. I mean, Claire makes sense. She'd be a good wife. He'd be a good husband. They have a good relationship. So does Chris and him. So that'd be pretty good. And she also knows how to defend herself. If she ever needed to. I just said herself before, but she knows how to defend herself when Leon's not around. So I think she'd do pretty good. And yeah, I just think the game would be pretty good. I mean, Ada also knows how to defend herself, but I mean, does she know how to take down a Mr. X? Claire sort of does. Now, that does sort of piss me off that the games, have split stories in Resident Evil 2. So it's not like, oh, this story is detached from this story. No, they are literally the exact same story, just for 2 different characters. So, it kind of sucks and ruins immersion. I'm not going to question it, though. We'll just say that, the stories sort of work together, but I think this game does it the best, where, everything is the same. Or, if one character's done one thing, it'll be the same for the other character. They have... that character who previously did actually do it.
Send some footage your way, Sherry.
But, But yeah, I just think...
The guy at the end. Wait, so
Yeah, hold on.
I just think, you know,
The database is coming up empty.
Claire would be the best
those
fit
involved with Opus too.
as... Oh god. As, she'd be a good character. I mean, she was also in several other games and she kicked ass in that, and in a couple of CGI movies, which she also kicked ass in. So that reload pisses me off how slow he moves. I'm gonna have to upgrade the reload speed. I can't stand that. Although I might actually, you know, I'm gonna sell that gun and get the other one instead. There we go. Let me get the one that... Oh, I haven't unlocked it. Huh. Oh, yes, I have. There we go. What does that one do again? Ah, yes. But yeah. I just think she'd be the best wife for him. Do I have any purchasable? Oh, I can actually, yeah, I should probably upgrade that. Oh yeah, I need to get the extra case upgrade so I can actually carry shit. Should probably buy that as well at some point. But yeah, I think Claire would be the best fit for a wife. Ada, if she stopped running off, she could be, but she's also wanted for espionage, although then again, he does have friends with the president, so, you know. He could probably get her name cleared. Sherry just doesn't seem like he'd be in a relationship with her, just seems like it would be more of a friendship relationship. And, Ashley, it was, like, we didn't really see much of her. I think there was only, like, one... Yeah, I think the only time we saw her was one game. The rest of the characters we've seen in multiple games. Now, the only thing pointing to him not having a wife and that video being correct... By the way, let me actually, you know, find who it was. Just so I can credit them for making it. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I can find it. Who the fuck is that? I don't know. But anyway, not the point. Point is, wait, is that the right? Yeah. Point is, his wife is most likely Claire or Ada. I hope one of the DLCs is that. I also hope one of the DLCs, again, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, I don't know, I'm uploading this immediately after, that's why I'm mentioning this now. I do believe it is... I do believe it is from Meryl to Mummy. Or I hope it's a Meryl DLC, where her and her mother survive. We know her father didn't, because her father is Marvin Brenner from Resident Evil 2. And yeah, I just hope that the DLCs are good. I hope one involves Honk, one involves Leon's wife, even if it's just a small, tiny DLC, and one involves Meryl. Yeah, that'd be a good idea for me. Yeah, fun. But, with that being said, again, hope his wife is Claire or Ada. Hope you enjoyed. And the only thing, oh yeah, that's it, the only thing pointing to him not having a wife is at the very end of this game, if you get the good ending, spoiler alert, up ahead, in the final scene where her and Leon are talking to each other and talking about how they saved Emily and how, she's with I don't actually. Did they mention that about how they saved? No, I think they just mentioned that they saved. I think they just mentioned that she's teaching her how to read because she finally got her eyesight back because the cataracts are gone because the virus was what was causing the cataracts. So once that's cured, there's no cataracts, there's no blindness. But yeah, I in that deal or in that moment, she doesn't say anything like, "Oh, how's your wife doing?" or "Wish your wife good wishes from me." I don't fucking know. But she doesn't mention anything. But at the same time, you wouldn't necessarily need to bring up his wife in that situation, so that also could make sense. Either way, I will, by the way, I am very well aware I did miss one there. That is intentional. Uh... Hmm. I did not expect that. Nice. He's 54 years old. Jesus Christ. Oh, by the way, he's 8 foot tall. Yeah, he's 2 foot 1 inches taller than Leon. Pretty fucking tall. But yeah. I hope those are the DLCs. The only thing mentioning is that, Grace didn't mention it, but he probably is married. He's probably finally settling down. Maybe even has some kids. Doubt that part, but you never know. He might have kids. He might have just been, trying to get the fuck out of there so he doesn't die. Also, ignore the fact that I've been saying, a lot. It's my new word that I just say a lot. I don't know why. Sometimes, I guess it's a tick. I don't know. Uncontrollable. I can't stop. Like, I say it naturally. It's just like, yeah. I'll end up saying, a lot. And so I just say then, I'll say, a lot. Yeah. It's that. So just, it's annoying. I even get pissed off when I say it, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, I hope his wife is Claire, Ada, or Ashley. I don't really want it to be Sherry. That don't really seem like a great fit. I mean, yeah. Have I saved, by the way? I don't think I have. Let me save real quick. Okay. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Catch you all next time. Leon, for fuck's sake, the lightest tap. Hope you all enjoyed. Catch you all next time. Peace!